You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
Bitcoin, Ether, Ripple, Litecoin, and more. Cryptocurrencies and other digital assets are taking the financial world by storm. This exploding market provides everything a savvy trader needs: volatility, volume, and liquidity. Provided you know how to find it. That's where we come in. Welcome to the Crypto Rundown. Each week, we'll break down the latest trading activity, trends, and developments on everything from coins to tokens, futures, and even OTC options. If it's moving the crypto markets, then you'll find it on the Crypto Rundown. Now it's time to dive into the exploding world of cryptocurrencies and digital assets. It's time for the Crypto Rundown.
All right, everybody, that music means we are back. It is time once again for the Crypto Rundown, the program here on the network, where we break down everything lighting it up in the world of your favorite crypto products and derivatives and all sorts of fun. Remember, if you want to check us out on the Pro, theoptionsinsider.com/pro is the place to go to learn more. And for a lot of you coming to the options markets for the first time, make sure you're checking out the full network. A lot of great content for you there, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And let's see who we find on the program with us this week, shall we? I'm pleased to be joined once again by our good pal, my crypto nemesis, none other than Mr. Bill himself, Bill Ulivieri from Cenacle Capital Management. Mr. Bill, welcome back to the show, sir.
Good afternoon, Mark. Thank you for having me back.
How are things in Cenacle land, sir?
Oh my gosh, things are really busy and exciting, and we're working on some new strategies for people with 401ks and rollover IRAs using options to offset the federal withholding on an RMD, required minimum distribution. So it's, between compliance, marketing, and then trying to figure out how to get this word out has been like all consuming for the last couple of weeks, but it's been fun. Some stocks that we're managing are absolutely all over the place.
I think we can say that about the full market and certainly the full crypto market. So let's get to it now, Mr. Bill, as we dive on into the Bitcoin breakdown.
It's time to explore the latest trading activity, trends, and developments across the world's leading crypto market. It's time for the Bitcoin Breakdown.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Bitcoin Breakdown, the portion of the show where we do just that. We break down all the action in the world's leading digital asset. Yep, we're talking about the big dog, which is BTC, looking a little bit bigger since our last show, which you'll recall was 2 weeks ago. We were traveling, had to hop out of the studio last week right after the option block, so coming back at you after 2 weeks. And Bitcoin took the time to put the bit in its teeth and rally a bit. At our last show, it was 66,655. Coming in this week at the start of the show, 72,352, up nearly 5,700 handles from where it was this time last show. So, Mr. Bill, let's start there. I guess the worm has turned. All is right in the world of Bitcoin. No more worry necessary, sir.
Well, I don't know about no more worry, but like maybe a breath of relief that we've gotten a little bit of a rally here. And it just seems to be ping-ponging between this, 65 to 67,000 up to 72, 73,000. So, I think things are looking kind of good right about now. I mean, I'm feeling good. I wish I shouldn't, but yeah, I mean, it's exciting to see a little bit of a rally because we were in those dead cat bounces for a while.
Yeah, crypto has been an interesting one to watch since the start of this conflict. And of course, Bitcoin being the point man, the vanguard of all things crypto. Early on, the conflict goal was taking a hit. Bitcoin actually fared fairly well, started to struggle a little bit in the latter portion of the conflict. And of course, obviously, over the last 2 weeks has rallied again. So again, an interesting time out there in all things Bitcoin. Let's dive on into a little bit of the vol and skew. We'll try to simplify things for you guys on the show. We've been doing a full gamut of weekly and 6 month. We'll just give you kind of a snapshot, 30-day, front month, kind of where a lot of folks tend to focus their analysis on all things Bitcoin and ETH and maybe make it a little bit easier for you folks. 30-day vol in Bitcoin right now. You know, Bill, if this vol number is to be believed, you know, I hate to repeat the old adage of sell in May and go away, but now it's sell before tax day and go away because the vol is going to die. 52 on our last show 2 weeks ago. It's nearly 10 points lower right now, 42 3/4. So, Bill, Bitcoin vol is telling us there's a whole heck of a lot of nothing going on right now. What are your thoughts, sir?
I agree. I'm moving Bitcoin into the silo, the investment bin of widows, orphans, and fixed income, because I'm looking at this implied volatility in the mid 30s, you know, on the front month IBIT, and in the high 40s, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's like 5 other stocks that I've got my eyes on that are in the 150 plus implied volatility. So I don't know what to say. It's we got what we asked for. Bitcoin is now mainstream and nobody cares.
So what you're saying, Bitcoin is the new T-bill.
Bitcoin is the new 10-year treasury for sure.
Bitcoin only for widows and orphans out there, listeners. Only suitable for them, as it's pretty much a risk-free asset at this point, I think, Bill. I think we have determined that.
Yes.
All right. Let's get out to, you mentioned IBIT. Let's get there because, again, a lot of the folks who listen to this show, that is their vector, that is their lens through which they view and trade all things Bitcoin. And IBIT obviously rallying right along with the spot out here since our last show at about a 41 even when we kicked off the show. That puts it up about 3.5 points from where it was on the show 2 weeks ago, and it's still hanging out at about a 41 right now. The volume, again, Bill, we're starting to get summer doldrums kicking in. The volume, the ADV was 619,000 contracts. That's still obviously a lot compared to a lot of products out there, but that's down 75,000 contracts a day from this time 2 weeks ago. You think a little bit of a rally in Bitcoin would be enough to spark a little bit of action, a little bit of fun, but apparently not. That 30-day vol out there and IBIT hanging out at right about a 42, which again is pretty much lockstep with what we're seeing over there on Deribit. I mean, you could argue which tail is wagging the dog now. You could probably think that IBIT is the 800-pound gorilla. So yeah, 42 vol, pretty much in lockstep with Deribit. The volume today, what's lighting it up out there today? We got about 400,000 contracts on the tape out there in IBIT land. And if you're wondering what's the big dog in IBIT today, it's 38,000 of the 43s. And these are expiring at the end of the week. And there are dailies now, Monday and Wednesday dailies in IBIT. We're not seeing those at the top of the charts today. We are seeing the Friday 43 calls, so slightly out of the money calls. Looks like paper is selling those for about 15 cents, which goes back to what we've been saying for a while now. This equity flow has made its way into IBIT, and it has killed the skew, and it has killed the vol apparently too. Everyone wants to sell $2 of upside for 15 cents, Bill. So apparently that's the hot trade. And number two, about 24,000 of the 42s going up today for about 28 cents. So apparently, Bill, everyone and their mother is selling calls and killing the skew and the vol in IBIT. What have you been up to out in IBIT, sir?
Well, we're still, rolling options. When it gets kind of range bound between 39 and 41 and a half, we're just trying to, we pull up the Bollinger Bands and, some old school, buy and sell areas. But honestly, we're not doing anything really fancy in IBIT, to be honest with you, Mark. It's just sell some calls, collect the premium, buy a few more shares of IBIT. Sell calls, they go out worthless, or we take, about 80. Once the position returns about 80%, we get like 80% of the premium. We'll close it and roll to the next month, and then we take that and buy, micro strategies like one share, or for some of the clients, or we'll buy a couple of shares of IBIT. So, the IBIT position is primarily in our firm. It's mostly people that want me to do covered calls on, and then increase the position in IBIT, but they want the options to pay for any new shares. So it's a slow grind because you don't, again, with the 36 vol, 38 vol, 40 vol in April 17th options, you're not getting that much juice for the squeeze. So, but we just keep chipping away because it has been pretty much rainbound since the beginning of February.
What you're saying then, Bill, is that you are part of the problem. You are part of the ones who are coming in and just crushing all the juice. So if you can't get any good juice for your covered call sales or your put sales in IBIT, blame Mr. Bill. As we keep on rolling, listeners, let's explore a little bit of the altcoin universe.
It's time to move beyond Bitcoin and find out what's moving the rest of the crypto marketplace. It's time to boldly venture into the altcoin universe.
All right, everybody, welcome to the altcoin universe, the portion of the show where we break down everything lighting it up in the world outside of Bitcoin, except for right now where we hang out and talk a little bit of market cap action. Let's see what's dominating the tape since the last time we gathered here together on the old crypto rundown. By the way, on our last show, it cost you about $9.5 billion worth of market cap to break into the top 10. That got you to Bill's new favorite hype, aka Hyperliquid. And spoiler alert, it's going to cost you a little more than that this week to break into the top 10, $11.1 billion to be precise. But that still gets you to hype. So Cardano, for whatever reason, cannot battle its way back into the top 10. Seems like hype has kicked it to the curb, at least for now. We have talked hype a few times here on the show. Are you folks hyped about hype? I'm curious. Number 9, it's Doge, $15.5 billion. Number 8, it's Tron. Failed movie, can't seem to kill Tron. Number 8, still $30.3 billion worth of market cap. Number 7, it's Solana, $47.75 billion. Number 6, USD coin, $78.7 billion. Number 5, it's XRP. Even on a green week, Bill's beloved XRP can't gain the love, $82.1 billion. Number 4, it's BNB, $82.5 billion. Number 3, it's Tether, because of course it is, $184.5 billion. And number 2, good old ETH, back at least above 2,000, $268.6 billion worth of market cap. And the big dog BTC, 1.4 trillion worth of market cap. But let's get out now to number 2 in a lot of your hearts. Is that still the case? Or have you kind of washed your hands of ETH? Either way, ETH gaining back a little bit of that love. 21.51 on our last show 2 weeks ago. 22.27 this week. Up a whopping 76 handles. Bill, can you believe it? 76 handles worth of upside in ETH. What are we going to do with ourselves besides throw a party for the widows and orphans, sir?
Well, I don't know if Ethereum is the next TLT in terms of fixed income. But again, this BitMiner, Tommy Lee, the BitMine immersion company, they bought like another couple of $100 million worth of Ethereum. They now own 4.5% of the supply. So it seems like Bitcoin treasury companies and Ethereum treasury companies are still all the rage. And once again, it's a risk-on asset. I'm excited, but $78 doesn't really get me out of bed. I mean, I went out for breakfast this weekend with my son, and it was about $78, right? So, just had a couple of breakfast burritos, and it set us back almost a Benjamin. So, we need more upside.
Bill needs more upside to pay for his breakfast burritos, damn it. Let me hit the vol and the skew out here in ETH, because it's a similar deal. Coming back to Earth, so we're getting crypto summer apparently already. Not even mid-April yet. We got 71.5 on the 30-day vol 2 weeks ago, 63.25. So coming in over 8 points on the 30-day vol. Skew-wise, again, looking not quite as dire, negative 5.9 on the show 2 weeks ago, negative 3.25 in ETH this week. So, Mr. Bill, I guess we talk about crypto winter all the time. At least these vol numbers, they look kind of summery to me, sir. What do you think?
No, I agree. But I think the focus has been, on AI, agentic AI, certainly what's going on overseas with the conflict in Iran and the Middle East. I don't know what to say. For as much as this market has been just, it's up 1,200 points, down 800, up 1,200, down 1,000. I'm kind of surprised that these crypto assets have such a low implied volatility. So it seems to me that the focus is just on other things. It's like on USO and oil and inverse oil and like this other crazy stuff that's coming across my screen. Maybe it's just, crypto was the favorite child until last November. And then things have just kind of petered out on the interest, and we're seeing again like the AI disrupt technology stocks like Oracle and IBM and other companies like that. So I don't know. This is a very short-term, attention-focused market. Like whatever is hot, like boy, that moves. But then again, assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which traditionally really got us up in the morning, to make our espresso and watch the markets. That's just like nobody cares. I just find that really interesting.
Interesting indeed, listeners. And, you mentioned your beloved BMNR, aka BMNR, good old bit miner. You're right. They made some headlines since the last time you and I chatted. I think they gobbled up all of the Ethereum, as I recall, Mr. Bill. So they own 100% of the supply now. So they are all in case you thought maybe this sell-off in ETH was going to shake loose some of these DATs, especially maybe BMNR. They're doubling down, buying more ETH at these lower levels. Hey, in for a penny, in for, I don't know, a few $1 billion, I suppose, at this point. BMNR 2146, the vol at an 83, so kind of keeping the death of vol trend alive. 83, that's a 52-week low in vol out there in BMNR, so interesting stuff out there. The ADV is 155,000 contracts, so decent volume. 105,000 contracts on the tape today. The hot option in BMNR today. We've got 7,000 of the 23s, so slightly out of the money calls going up for 30 cents. Looks like paper was buying those, but again, you never can tell, listeners. It looks like there is some OI on that strike, so they could be closing, getting the heck out of Dodge. Mr. Bill, what have you been up to in your beloved BMNR since last we chatted, sir?
Like I said before, Mark, there are things that are way more volatile that I'm looking at than crypto, and I'm guilty of maybe perhaps leaving my favorite child off on the doorstep. But, my clients will send me a text message and they'll say, hey, what do you think of AppLovin? What do you think of Applied Optoelectronics? Have you seen like AAOI and APP AppLovin? Like Luminite, LITE, I think is the symbol. Holy cannoli. Like this stuff, this volatility is like 180%. And this thing is rocking, Mark. Like that's, and again, I'm guilty of, looking at the shiny object and getting pulled off my normal, lower volatility option stuff when I'm, degenning with one or two clients and some of this other things. But like crypto, like I said, I mean, I was being kind of sarcastic, but there's a little bit of truth in my sarcasm. And that is like, what's the point of trading an option that's, 5% out of the money for a quarter when you can get like $30 or $17 in some of the stuff that's way out of the money. So look at even Avis budget car rental. Okay. I think that implied volatility is the symbol is CAR. I mean, it's just insane. Like who needs crypto when you have a 203 volatility and a slightly upside call in Avis budget group, on the 17th of April. Okay. Sell an option that's 10% out of the money and collect $35. Okay, maybe we should look at that.
I love that. So there you go. Who needs crypto, Mr. Bill, when you got Avis, right? Bitcoin's only really for widows and orphans now anyway, right?
Right? I know.
Boring.
It's so true, Mark.
It's sleepy and boring. Well, Mr. Bill, if you want something solely for the degens and you want to get led astray again, I think our chat is conspiring to do just that to you right now because they have offered up for your viewing pleasure, sir. Before I get there, let me set the table because it's all related to your beloved Circle. Circle today rallying back since our last show. 96.60, up $7.60. So a good couple of weeks. Putting up about 140,000 contracts a day now. It's down 43,000. So again, volume coming in, vol coming in. It definitely has all the hallmarks of the early summer season. Today, putting up about 85,000 contracts. So if you're wondering what's the hot option in Circle today, it's the 103s expiring at the end of the week. Looks like paper is blasting away at 8,000 of them for $1.51. So that's about a 94 vol. So I guess there still is some vol to be found, Mr. Bill. You just got to go to Circle. Are you still slinging any Circle?
Yeah, we're definitely trading Circle. Again, we're being very cautious about position size because we do, we can't help but take into consideration the volatility and the Clarity Act and Stablecoin Act and things that have been, kind of stalled for a little while. And again, there's just other things that are grabbing my attention other than the things that used to I would focus on daily. So again, like I said before, I am definitely like to look at shiny objects. I'm not saying I'm trading AAOI, but we're trading Eplovin and Cloudflare for a few of our clients because the implied volatility looks really good, and I still kind of believe in the overall business plan and the fact that they're very heavily network effect, and they're founder led, which I really like. So I can't watch everything, Mark. We have positions in Circle, we have positions in Cloudflare and in Eplovin, and that seems to be like all the volatility I can handle right now and my clients can handle.
Well, we got one more for you, Mr. Bill. So you want some degens, you like your Eplovins and everything else. We're just talking about Circle. Maybe Circle's not really doing it for you. Maybe you think, a 96 vol, not really getting you out of bed. Allow me to present to you, Mr. Bill, C Cup. Are you familiar with this one? This is a T-Rex 2 times long Circle daily target ETF, Mr. Bill. So there we go. Levered Circle. Are you ready? $4.60, up 75 cents today, or 19.5%. So there you go. Just when you thought things could not be more exciting, Mr. Bill, along comes C Cup.
Let me drain my double espresso, and I'll take a look at the bid-ask spread. And what is April 17th? So the market is like a nickel bid at 40 cents. Implied volatility, 144. Let's go out to April. So they only have, next option is in May 15th after that. So
no weeklies. Not really an options player yet. Only doing about 95 contracts a day.
No, I think I'm going to step away from this one for a while. It's 30-cent bid at $1. I mean, I'd love to be a market maker in that. I mean, can you imagine collecting that kind of edge? So that means my theoretical value is like 60 cents or so, kind of just basically split the bid-ask spread. So yeah, I think I'm just going to hold for now.
It's definitely, if you are going to play it, it definitely appears to be an underlying only one for now, if you can stomach it, listeners. It has had some action of 3 3/4 this morning to 463. So rallying, 90 odd cents just today at one point. So wild stuff. So if you can stomach the action, listeners, and you think Circle's too boring for your needs, and you think the liquidity of Circle is too much for you, I should say, is far too much, those waters are too deep, then allow me to present C Cup. There you go. Solely for the degens. You said you wanted.
I appreciate it.
You said you wanted some degen action. Our chat has you covered, Mr. Bill. Yeah, I would definitely say, listeners, if you're going to play this one, be judicious. And again, not really an options player, at least not yet. But who knows? That could change once the rest of the degen crowd kind of discovers this. And I do believe the options are a recent addition here as well. So maybe once they have a little bit of time under their belt, they get a little bit of liquidity. Who knows? If you could sell puts on a $4 name at really huge vol, that is attractive to a lot of people out there. Solana not doing a heck of a lot since our last show. 82.71 2 weeks ago, 82.93 this week, up a whopping 22 cents. Bill's beloved XRP, same thing, kind of treading water. $1.33 2 weeks ago, $1.34, so up a whopping penny there. Doge, same deal, 9.1 cents 2 weeks ago, 9.1 cents. So outside of Bitcoin and ETH, we haven't had a ton of follow-along action here. Litecoin actually going the other way. 53.42 2 weeks ago, 53.01 this week, so down 41 cents. Cardano, 24.40 2 weeks ago, 23.70 this week. So again, showing you why it's not breaking into the top 10 right now. Polkadot also going the other way. $1.25 last week, $1.18 this week, off 7 cents. And everyone's favorite, beloved Shiba Inu, a million zeros, 5.993 2 weeks ago this week, 5.755. So outside of Bitcoin and ETH, it's been a lot of treading water or even downside in a lot of the altcoin universe, which again is kind of fascinating. But Mr. Bill, whenever you join us here on the show, you always come armed with some fun altcoin that are perhaps burning a hole in your back pocket. I presented to you C Cup. Can you raise me anything equally wild, sir?
Yeah, well, this is going to be a crypto pick, but what's really come across my desk lately, again, is I brought this crypto project up before. It's called Stacks, STACKS. Stacks. The symbol is STX. It's trading for 21.5 cents. It has a market cap of about 390, about 400 million. And it's really interesting because my Twitter feed went from like all crypto to all AI, and now it's AI using crypto because these agents are transacting across the Bitcoin network. And Stacks is a layer platform, a Bitcoin platform, that the AI agents that are going to be, I mean, we're not going to be using gold bullion or gold coins, right, or gold bars. Crypto is going to be the thing that AI agents trade with. And Stacks is currently leading the Bitcoin transactions on their platform. So the Stacks apparently accounts for about 48% of all the AI agent activity across Bitcoin Layer 2 solutions. When an AI agent wants to choose Bitcoin as their transaction currency, they convert it into Stacks, if I'm not mistaken, and then Stacks reconverts it into Bitcoin. And it's a way that you can get the Bitcoin security on the network, but then use like a quote unquote altcoin to actually do the transaction with. So it's like an altcoin that also uses the Bitcoin network, which, you know, has some, you know, terahashes, pentaterahash per second on the network. So I like Stacks. I think it's an interesting play. It's an older token. So it has, you know, it's kind of been in the forgotten category, I think. But I want to revisit Stacks as a AI plus Bitcoin opportunity.
That's an interesting one. Stacks, listeners, ticker symbol STX. If you're looking at it, Mr. Bill, I guess it could be a good buying opportunity. Down 65% on the year, trading 21 cents. Looks like it topped out at right around $1 back in May of last year, $1.05. Since then has pretty much done a lot of selling. So there you go, Mr. Bill.
Right.
If you like that level, it's at an attractive price level right now. What are your thoughts on that price action over the past year, sir?
Yeah, well, we've seen it in a lot of places. I mean, you know, XRP is down 50% from its high. You know, I got Mrs. Ulivieri sleeping on the couch now because she was like so much into XRP, and now it's a bit of a dog. Same with like these things just ebb and flow, right? I mean, the rising tide raises all ships, and Bitcoin is down, you know, 25, 30, 40% from its high. I suspect that if and when Bitcoin turns around, and if and when Ethereum turns around, and this crypto market is back on, because we're now 2 years from the halving, believe it or not, and maybe the next 2 years are going to be really positive that push the Bitcoin up into the 150s, 160s, maybe 250s possibly. Well, then these are going to respond equally as well. So, you know, gosh, Mark, there's so much blood that I've got in my crypto wallet. I don't know what to say anymore. Well, we've all felt it. You know, all of us. We've been talking about this for years, and we've all felt the pain of these crypto winters and these downturns because they are big.
We have all felt it. If you're wondering, the all-time high looks like for Stacks was back in March of 2024. Hit 365, listeners. So it can go up, listeners, up to 365. So if you're intrigued, perhaps Stacks is intriguing for you. That music means that's all we've got on the crypto rundown for this week. But before we go, Mr. Bill, if folks want to talk Stacks or BMNR or anything else with you over there at Cenacle, where should they go? What should they do?
Yeah, give us a call at 847-686-4800 or visit our website, cenaclecapital.com. And I just want to close with one thing really quick. You know, usually we talk about things that are current events in the Bitcoin space. Did you see where Visa is issuing a Bitcoin rewards credit card? What this means is that if only 3.5% or 4 to 5, you know, maybe 5% max of people that are Visa cardholders switch over to the Bitcoin Visa card, that means 150,000 annually of Bitcoin has to be purchased by Visa to provide the rewards to their clients. So 450,000 Bitcoin are mined each year. Michael Saylor is buying almost all of them, and we have another 140,000 bid for by Visa. And then 16,000 investment advisors on the JP Morgan platform are going to be using their ETF, Bitcoin ETF. So again, while we are licking our wounds in the crypto space, the news is still very positive and very forward-moving and optimistic, in my opinion. So don't let my sour grapes ruin or bruise the conversation that we've been having about crypto and things like Circle and BMNR and IBIT, et cetera, et cetera. We're still early, Mark. We are still so early.
Yeah, I'm looking at this right now. It's a new card, listeners. It offers 1 to 3.5% back in Bitcoin on all purchases. So there you go, Mr. Bill. If you want to get your cash back in some crypto, perhaps that is intriguing to you, sir. And where should they go if they want to see all things Cenacle, sir?
All things Cenacle, just visit us at, again, cenaclecapital.com. That's www.cenacle, C-E-N-A-C-L-E, cenaclecapital.com. And or find me on LinkedIn. I've been really posting a lot on LinkedIn about our rollover 401k to rollover and Roth IRA tax strategy. So I think that might be interest also, because we use covered call writing to create, again, that cash in a self-directed IRA or self-directed 401k. And that could potentially, in most cases, we don't have to even swing for the fences with Circle or other names that we've been mentioning today. Just QQQ and SPY, and you can generate enough income, enough cash in an account over the course of a year to pay for your RMDs, so then you can move that money into a Roth, where it then grows exponentially tax-free.
There you go. Check them out. Cenacle Capital, C-E-N-A-C-L-E, capital.com. To learn more. That's going to do it for us on the Crypto Rundown. Not going to do it for us on the network, though. Back in about an hour to talk all things lighting up the options market on the Hot Options Report. Then we're back again with all the rest of our content. Listeners, again, if you're not subscribed to the full network, you are missing out. Check out the Options Insider Radio Network, wherever you get your favorite podcast. Then we're back again next Monday, another episode of the Crypto Rundown. Stay safe out there, everybody.
It's time to move beyond Bitcoin and find out what's moving the rest of the crypto marketplace. It's time to boldly venture into the altcoin universe.